Hey everyone, wow, can't believe we've already managed to get through 2 weeks. This term is already clipping along at a really quick pace. So hopefully you're getting kind of acclimated to the routine of the course. And as we go forward, you'll see that, in this class particularly, the assignments are pretty consistent from week to week, meaning you'll do the same things. I try to do that in my classes, all of my classes, but so you'll be really focused on research review initially. This week I'm going to start prompting you to begin thinking about your midterm assignment, which is the leadership presentation. So we'll talk a little bit about that. So coming up, so first thing is we have the week 3 to-do list. And so this week your textbook reading is going to be, you're going to be still looking at a couple of articles from section 2 or a couple of chapters, and then you're going to pick one of your own readings this week. So you can choose something completely on your own, or you can, as you've seen in the past, and let me also put this up here so you can see it. The sample reading list by weekly question, you can choose one of those supplemental chapters or articles to read this week. So you should have 3 total that you're reading going into next week. So just remember that this reading is the reading that you're doing for next week's reading response. Your assignment this week, where you're actually going to do a review on the research, is on last week's reading. And so that's the first thing I'll mention is you have a research review to complete that was due. And so let me make sure I'm looking at week 3, sorry. So for week 3, same as this week, you're going to do it on sections, this actually should say section 2 and one of your own, but you're going to come, and I'll edit that. So you're going to complete the same research synthesis report that you did for your last week. So this will kind of be the same each week. And what I would like you to do is in this synthesis report is make sure you're reviewing the questions of the week. These are on your syllabus, but they're also here under each week so that you can go back and look. So for this week 3, the question is about what has the past decade of research shown us about the nature of STEM? How has this research contributed to our understanding of STEM education? So those are the questions you'll be answering. And then this is also the section where you'd pick one of your readings. So hopefully that is clear now if you had any confusion. And then it is kind of hard to, what am I supposed to be reading and which one am I supposed to be reviewing? So if you can keep in mind that the assignment that you're completing is reviewing the reading that you did for the prior week, and then I'm listing under the week the reading that you're supposed to be doing for the next week's assignment. I know, very complicated. The other assignment this week, you'll notice I rotate between discussions and then connect the dots assignment. So this week you have a discussion question coming forward. And this is where you're going to actually start thinking about your presentation. So a couple of things to first respond to. So thinking about discuss the roles that you might play as a leader in your particular STEM context. So for instance, if you're a classroom teacher, what might that look like to be a STEM leader in your school? Maybe it's just in your team, your 3rd grade team, or could be in your a STEM leader in your science teacher group, or it could be in the district. It could be actually statewide. And so depending on what role you're currently playing, some of you are working in multiple schools, some of you are working in one classroom and don't have a lot of influence across the school. So make this specific to your particular educational context. Some of you are maybe not yet in a school or just doing student teaching. So what would that look like as a student teacher? The other thing is, what responsibilities would that leadership role include, and what are the qualifications and background that you would expect would be needed to take on those leadership roles? So not just something that you could do now, but maybe some things you see other professionals in your context doing in STEM, or something that you aspire to do in the future. And then the last part of this discussion is I want you to include a brief outline. So I'm thinking maybe a handful of bullets where you start to think about, okay, so for my STEM presentation that I'm going to be completing for midterm, how am I going to address these things? And I will show you there is a document. It's actually under or attached to the assignment. But I also have a copy of it here. So you can take a look at it. So it should address the following concepts. What are the role of leaders in STEM in your context? Responsibilities and qualifications. Identify the challenges associated with creating and maintaining the most equitable STEM learning environment, and how within those leadership roles there are opportunities to influence equity. So this is the piece that we haven't really addressed yet, but as you do your research, to be keeping this in mind, that you should be identifying practices, theories, ideas, research that addresses how to improve equity for students in STEM. And then what is the problem of practice or the challenge with implementing STEM curriculum, programs, or instruction specific to your context? And what are maybe some possible solutions that you might be able to do some research on, or that are supported by the research you have been reading? So again, this is just your first kind of like think aloud part of this. This is what I'm thinking I might do for my presentation. Think kind of high level still, not a lot of detail. So just bullets. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me. I'm happy to check in about this or give further instruction. So that's the discussion for this week, is what you're going to be including that information in, and then you are required to respond to 2 of your peers' posts this week. So that is the assignments for week 3. And so I hope you're enjoying reading some of the research and getting to know from your posts last week. It sounded like you're learning some good things about particularly equity in STEM and how that hasn't always been very equal, and how we need to do better with that. And so that's a foundational piece of this course, is to really begin to incorporate equity in all of your STEM endeavors. So I look forward to seeing what you have to say this week about that, and hope everything's going well and you're settling into the routine of spring term. And I look forward to hearing from you. See you next week.